years. And what we intend to do is basically duplicate in humans what was done by the Scottish researchers in sheep.
Dr. Seed is a fertility specialist. He wants to clone a baby for a childless couple, creating an exact replica of one of the parents. He says he has a team of doctors and volunteer patients ready and willing. The man who cloned Dolly said at the time he wouldn't want it done with humans.
I personally have not heard any suggested application for making a person that I would find acceptable, and so I would wish particularly to prohibit that effectively.
Despite proposals from President Clinton, the United States has still not followed Britain's example and banned human cloning. From the White House down, all they have is moral pressure.
The scientific community ought to make it clear to Dr. Seed, and I think the President would make it clear to Dr. Seed, that he is now elected to become irresponsible, unethical, and unprofessional should he pursue his course that he outlined today.
There's likely to be pressure in Congress now to get a law onto the books quickly. Dr. Seed simply says that if it is banned here, he'll do it in Mexico instead.
And now a look at some of the stories in this morning's papers.
Barely had Hong Kong begun to celebrate its now official Chinese identity when it suffered a fall every bit as dramatic as that experienced by its popular new leader, C.H. Tung. Unkindly, this mishap came to symbolise the slump in Hong Kong's fortunes. A slump that worsened as the stock market and property prices continued to fall, and all this as tourism takes its biggest dive in decades.
So this is really exciting moment for us, so welcome to all of you.
The sightseeing buses are nearly empty. Luxury hotels are only half full, and the Western designer shops, normally packed with Asia's free-spending nouveau riche, are practically deserted. The Pearl of the Orient, it seems, is losing its luster. After 20 years in business, retailer Wu Man is making his last sale. He's giving away this mink at less than cost price. The signs announce that today he's closing down his leather and fur shop. The stock is being cleared out, and like many others here, Mr. Wu says he's broke.
So how bad are things here then?
All the tourists have gone, he says, and all the business has gone.
No money. No money. No money.
Tourism chief Amy Chan admits Hong Kong is in the doldrums and blames the problems on the currency crisis and economic turmoil of her Asian neighbours.
And as soon as the currencies started to depreciate, it affected their desire to travel and to spend money outside of their own countries.
And now, to compound the problem, there's an outbreak of bird flu, a new mysterious killer virus originating from chickens and which now threatens the human population. One more reason why the tourists are staying away.
Of course, none of these problems can be linked directly to the handover, but some argue that with the end of British rule here went a large part of Hong Kong's attraction as a tourist destination, as a quaint outpost of colonialism in the heart of Asia.
Suddenly, Hong Kong's looking for a new identity.
People would tend to think, oh, you're now part of China, you are probably exactly like the rest of China, and you've lost all this appeal as a British colony, and we don't want people to think this way.
So now they're pushing a new image of sophistication and service with a smile. Even China's People's Liberation Army are swinging into the act, emerging from their Hong Kong barracks on a charm offensive designed to reassure locals and visitors that they've nothing to fear. China still tolerates political protest here, but among activists there's resentment that Beijing is rolling back Chris Patton's democratic reforms for elections planned in May.
And it's deeply regrettable that Britain has said nothing since July 1st. The Hong Kong people are very angry. They feel that Britain has truly washed her hands of Hong Kong.
But ironically, it's not communism, but capitalism that's causing the real problems here. And as people watch their fortunes dwindle again today, and with no end in sight to the economic turmoil across Asia, the realization is dawning on everyone that even Hong Kong is not immune to the gloom. Mark Austin, ITN, Hong Kong.
2 ticket holders shared the midweek National Lottery.
With a power to cut houses in two, struck Selsey in the early hours, waking its residents with incredible force.
It's a terrible noise of falling slates and roof tiles and things like that crashing around, and window boxes being smashed and God knows what in the courtyard at the back of the house.
Suddenly there were these hailstones, huge, great big hailstones, and the windows just started to like go, and we got double glazing in the front room. We couldn't open the door. We were actually literally trying to force the door open, and then we just heard everything flying. Everything went.
This morning, there's a 2-mile trail of destruction across the coastal town. More than 1,000 properties were hit in less than 15 minutes.
Well, we've been called to about 1,000 properties in the village. The map area that we've shown with the damage from our control unit suggests that about a third to half of the village has been affected.
The fire brigade say this trail of damage was undoubtedly caused by a tornado, a twister as they're known in the United States. Rescuers are coming to Selsey from all over the south of England, worried particularly about the forecast of gale force winds due later today.
That's all from us. Goodbye.